Hey there, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, my name is Lizzie. I am a stay-at-home mom of 4, and I am also a pastor's wife. I have an over 2,000 square foot garden and also this greenhouse behind me. And today I'm going to show you some footage that I took, probably 6 weeks ago of me planting up this greenhouse for summer. I was a little bit late in that. I should have done it earlier, but I got to it when I did. And so I'm going back and editing that for you so you can see what I planted in the greenhouse and also just how my greenhouse is set up and have a little look inside. And sometime, hopefully in this month, we will have a little bit of an update of how things are going in there and all out in the garden too. So I hope you enjoy this little remembrance of 6 weeks ago. It feels like it was just yesterday that I did this, but here we are in August, remembering back to June when things were just popping up here in Vermont. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you for being here. So as you could see, the greenhouse was an absolute wreck. And now it is no longer an absolute wreck. It looks much better. This is one of those projects that kept putting off, and it only took me like an hour to get everything done. So let's chat a little bit about the greenhouse. First of all, I have had this greenhouse for over a year now. My husband built it in March of 2025, so I've had it for 4 full seasons. And just telling you now, I am not using this greenhouse correctly. There is definitely a learning curve to this greenhouse, or to any greenhouse. This greenhouse starts its season before the outside starts its season. So I have to, in my mind, pretend like this is a zone 6, whereas out there is a zone 4B. And I am not quite there yet in my practical processes. I have it in my brain and I understand what I need to do, but it just doesn't always pan out. I got so busy in the field and doing things out there that this kind of got neglected, whereas this really should have been planted first. These summer crops should have been put in at least in the middle of May, potentially before that, to start growing on big, and they should have been pretty big at this point. But we are not there, but that is okay. I think in some regards they will catch up a little bit because it does get so much hotter in here than it does out there. They will probably grow quicker, plus they will last longer in here because they would be protected from the frost when that comes in September or October. So I'll get tomatoes in here longer and all the other things. So we definitely need to work on planting this correctly. But first what I did was weed it. Let me show you what the worst weed is in here. It is this stuff. This is called bindweed, and it does exactly what it says that it does. It is a weed, and it binds things together. It will curl itself up, anything that it can find, and it doesn't really choke it out. But what really happens is that it's very difficult to get off of whatever it is to harvest it. Plus, it will go on to the next thing. It will go wherever it can. So, for example, I was harvesting these snapdragons. I'll cut a snapdragon off, pull it, and a bindweed is connected to another snapdragon, and I'll end up pulling the other snapdragon out. So it is ferocious, but it is very sneaky, and it has these white flowers on it that turn into berries, and the berries are poisonous. I don't think they'll kill me, but they will make me sick if I ate them or whatever. So definitely shouldn't be around children. Unfortunately, that is a weed that came in the compost that I got last year, and there's nothing I can do about it. I have it out in the field too. So lesson to you, please make sure that you know where your compost is coming from and that it is weed free, generally speaking, because the bindweed has been a rough one for sure. After I weeded it, Then I went ahead and amended it with pine shavings from the brooder I had my chicks in. It had already started decomposing and breaking down. So I'm working on the soil in this greenhouse because it's not connected to the elements and gets much contact with that. I have to do everything not naturally. I have to put in everything myself. So there's potting soil in here. There's rabbit manure in here. There's organic fertilizer that's used in here. I have to work a lot more on the soil out here in here than I do out there. So I amended with my chicken manure. And then everywhere I put a plant, I did put some organic pro-mix potting soil around it. Part of that is so that I know where it is and I can see it a little better. Some of it is so that it will get some fertilizer for the next couple of months. And eventually I would like to put it everywhere, but I do not have quite enough to do that. So let me give you a little tour of what's in here so that later in the summer we can have a nice little comparison of how it is now and how it will be maybe in August. So here is a nice little tour, first of all, of just everything in here. My snaps have done so beautifully well. I said that I'm not using my greenhouse properly, but this is one thing that I am doing correctly, is these gorgeous snapdragons are really doing great. And they are about 2 weeks ahead of what is out in the field, which is exactly what I've been looking for. All right, here we go. Right here, I am going to show this to you. I have been trying to grow some loofahs. I've had a couple that have failed and I have started over again. I think I may be a little bit late and probably won't get any, but we're going to give it a shot. I've got watermelon right here and I'm just going to let it vine out. And then I've got a cantaloupe right here. It is down in there. It's just kind of under the soil, but it is in there. And so I have all this space free so that it can kind of roam its way around. I put some zucchini in here. I don't know if zucchini does very well in greenhouses or not, but I had some left over and I just felt terrible composting it. So I said, whatever, I'll go ahead and put some in here. It's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it just won't work. I have a couple of eggplants. I'm very interested to see how they do in here. I have 2 out in the field and I put 4 in here. I think eggplants like it hot, so they should probably do really well in here. And then I have some jalapenos. Again, jalapenos love the hot weather, and so these should do really well. And jalapenos don't really take up a lot of room. You know, they're not really too bushy. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants in here. Should do really well. Then I have a few tomato plants. This is a Crimson Sprinter. So in the field, I will get my first tomato hopefully at the end of July. It may even be earlier than that in here. We'll see. I have 1 Roma, 2 Romas. So those should do really well as well. That's the only tomatoes I had left from the farm stand. And then over here, I have a few Celosias. Some doing really well, some not doing so well, looking kind of sad. So we'll see if they pop back up and do okay or if they don't. Look at this snapdragon. Look at that. Look at that long stem. That's like 3 feet long. Isn't it beautiful? I love growing these snapdragons in this greenhouse. It's been lovely.